The Sinopharm vaccine has received the backing of the World Health Organization, making it the first Chinese jab to be approved for emergency use and only the sixth vaccine to get the global regulators' seal of approval. It differs from some of the other coronavirus vaccines currently in use. It is the first inactivated virus vaccine to receive WHO approval. A key advantage is that it can be stored in a standard refrigerator at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, while some other vaccines require ultra-cold temperatures, so it is easier to transport and store. It is also the first vaccine that will carry what's called a vial monitor. That's a small sticker on the vaccine vial that changes color as the vaccine is exposed to heat, letting health workers know whether or not it's safe to use. Well, let's discuss this further now with Dr. Dicky Akanmori, who is the Africa Regional Advisor for Vaccine Research and Regulation at the WHO in Congo, Brazzaville. He joins us via Skype now. Doctor, what is the significance of the WHO's approval of Sinopharm's COVID-19 vaccine?
Thank you very much, Mahia. I mean, thank you for having me. I mean, this is a huge leap because we have an additional vaccine, and it means an additional source of vaccines that potentially could also help the continent so that access can improve and we can have many more people vaccinated against this disease. But let me also quickly add that I think the world has been most fortunate for the first time in research and development, where you have so many different types of vaccines, as you mentioned. This is an inactivated virus, and all of which seem to work very well and have very good efficacy, comparable across the board, in particular efficacy against severe disease and hospitalization.
This is, of course, a significant development, Doctor, but how does Africa then and other developing regions in the world stand to benefit from the increased availability of this Sinopharm jab?
Well, first of all, let me say that, China is already supplying vaccines through bilateral arrangements to different countries on our continent. And remember also at the same time, the African vaccine acquisition task team of the African Union also has in mind or has plans to use this vaccine as well, to have access to this vaccine, to make it available to countries in our region. So therefore, it's just an addition to the COVAX facility vaccines, which are currently being used across the continent. And it just adds to the number of vaccines that will be available and access to many more vaccines. And hopefully this will help address, the current, slowdown in vaccine shipments that we are observing.
And finally, Dr. Akanmori, is the push to have these COVID vaccines manufactured in Africa justified, and how can this be achieved?
Yes, I mean, vaccine manufacture, I didn't quite hear the question. Perhaps if you could just repeat it. I didn't quite get the question, but I think it's to do with vaccine manufacture. Yeah, vaccine manufacture certainly is the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal, that there be as many manufacturing sites as possible globally, including in our region, so that not only can we address, in pandemics, shortages of vaccines, but that at least we can also begin to address our own diseases, which also need vaccines and which may not be considered by other parts of the world.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much for your insights there. Dr. Dicky Akanmori, who is the Africa Regional Advisor for Vaccine Research and Regulation, joining us live there from the WHO in Congo, Brazzaville.